Our big amateur contest tonight is for the flyweight strap. Muhaddin Abubakar against Robert Masters. Now, we saw Muhaddin at 6 fight Lonnie Kavanagh. He lost, but that's no bad thing against someone of that caliber. He's coming straight back, but this young man is a sponge, and for me, one of the most exciting flyweights in the amateur division.
Yeah, he's very talented. Like, he's one of those, like I say, new age fighters that are good in all areas. He's very dedicated to the game. He's very relaxed and calm. He's got great ground wrestling. He travels overseas to train. He's a sponge. He just wants to absorb as much information and stuff he could get. He was unlucky. It was a really good fight with Lonnie. Fell short, but he's got another title shot chance tonight because Lonnie vacated his belt. So this time, hopefully, he's going to try and come away with the belt.
Now, Brian, we both know Muhaddin, and he says regularly on Facebook, I want to fight the best. I don't like fighting people set up for me. I like to test myself. This is a test tonight with Masters.
Absolutely, and it's a test that has lit a fire underneath Masters himself. When I spoke to him, he believes he didn't show himself well in his last 2 fights. He really didn't focus enough, and that's one thing he talked to me about his camp. He changed it from being a physical camp to a more intelligent one. He knew he had to get his body prepared for these rounds against the tough test, so he stopped sparring 4 weeks out. It's all been about conditioning, mentally preparing himself, and he believes that Muhaddin will feel he has to weather a storm early, but he says he's going to bring a storm for all the fights. So for me, this can steal fight of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rise of Champions number 7 is now set for the feature presentation. Championship action in the flyweight division. The first challenger set to make his way down to the cage, presenting Robert Masters.
This is our big flyweight title fight on the undercard, the amateur title at stake. Robert Masters making his way to the cage. And Brian, someone you rate highly, a legitimate challenger. Now, he was on a 4-fight win streak, ironically until his last fight, but you said that's just made it even hungrier.
What I liked about this man is when we talked, he's learnt lessons from his losses, and one of those was focus and to have a more, and this was his phrase, a more intelligent fight camp. So he realised this is going to be a big title fight. He knows he's got to have a good skill set, but he doesn't want his body to be in a bad shape. So he stopped sparring 4 weeks out, focused on the mental preparation, the physical conditioning. He believes he can bring a storm for 5 rounds here tonight for this flyweight title, and that's something which really impressed me, the way he was talking about his camp.
Sounds like someone's got...
And now, the second challenger set to make his way down to the cage, presenting Muhaddin Abubakar.
Now, Brian, Muhaddin, someone you and I rate very highly. His only loss was, ironically, last time out here for this very title, but he lost to Lonnie Kavanagh, so there's no disgrace there in a very close bout that went the full way to decision. And obviously he's done well on Cage Warriors as well, and a young man that's like a sponge. He goes abroad to train. In fact, we could be looking at the next prospect.
Oh, without a doubt, and like you talk about going abroad to train, he's somebody that puts himself outside his comfort zone. So started as a striker, started with karate when he was a younger man, but obviously had to adapt his wrestling and his grappling. And for this camp, he spent a lot of it over in Grozny, a place I know quite well, at the Tolstoy Berkut Fight Club gym. And up there you are dealing with wrestlers that have been wrestling since they were 3, 4, 5 years old. He was wrestling with the likes of Murad Kalimov, who is a high-level jiu-jitsu player, really well-ranked fighter on the global scene. So for somebody this young, this aware of where he is as a fighter, to take those, I wouldn't say risks, but to put himself that far out of his comfort zone, that's got to be exciting to see as a coach, right?
Nathaniel, he's got such a hunger.
Definitely. I remember seeing Muhaddin fight, as you said, Lonnie Kavanagh, who I train with, who is... I can't say anything high about the guy. He's super talented, and it was a great fight. So, you know, this is definitely going to be a good fight for sure. 2 great opponents with great records.
Ladies and gentlemen, now live from the Brentwood Center in Essex, Rise of Champions number 7, now set for championship action. 5 3-minute rounds for the vacant amateur flyweight title. We introduce first now the blue corner, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in an official 124.7 pounds. His amateur career stands 9 victories against 3 defeats, representing Kraken MMA, fighting out of Bedford, England, presenting Robert Masters. And across the cage, his adversary in the red corner, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 124.8 pounds. His amateur career stands 6 victories against a single defeat, representing ESKF, presenting Muhyiddin Abubakar. When the title action begins, your referee in charge, Sam Amidi.
So this is our main event, as it were, of the amateur card, and 2 very good men in there rightly contesting this flyweight title. And something Muhyiddin Abubakar said was he was so glad it was Robert Masters because he wants to fight good quality people. He's got no time to fight anyone that's not good quality, and it's something, Nathaniel, that he puts across Facebook as well. He's very respectful, but he wants to only fight the best.
That's it, and that's someone that's going to go very far in the sport. There's a lot of guys out there that look for easy fights, and they just like, you know, having the name of being an MMA fighter. And, you know, Muhyiddin saying that is exactly the things that coaches want to see these days.
Yes, a very talented young man, but a very dangerous prospect in front of him. And at flyweight, the speed of these 2 men will be so vital. And as we said before, last time out for the flyweight title, a very close decision against Lonnie Kavanagh, who we will see make his pro debut tonight. But we see how Muhyiddin handles Masters, and Masters went for the takedown, but it sort of backfired on him, Brian.
Masters very physically strong, stepped in there, but just nice reaction from Muhyiddin, just gave him the advantage on top.
It's scary to think how good these guys will be in the pro ranks. You know, they've had a lot of fights both together. They've had a lot more fights than I had back in the semi-pro days. And, you know, they look like professionals at such a young age.
We just got to encourage them to stay at flyweight, right?
That's it.
Robert Masters now sitting up, trying to control Muhyiddin, but Muhyiddin being very patient from this position.
And Brian, it'll be interesting to see how all that wrestling training paid off, going abroad and out of his comfort zone for one so young to a top camp, as you said, where he admitted he was beasted.
Absolutely, that confidence, and again, it's about comfort zones. There's that old saying, if you're the best grappler in the room, you're in the wrong room, and he's willing to travel to step up against some majorly good competition, but all in the aim of improving his skills 1%, 5%, 10% at a time, and certainly showing a good base on the ground, right?
I think we can see that as well with the reversal from the takedown. Obviously, he's now ended up on top, and he looks like he's been working his grappling a lot in this camp.
Back control there, he's got the hooks in.
And Nathaniel, what do you think the difference is when, you know, a lot of these guys we've seen at the amateur level, what's it like to step up from those 3 rounds to 5, which these 2 men have got to do?
Well, in my semi-pro days, we didn't do that. It was actually 2 4-minute rounds that I ended up doing. But, you know, I think that 2 guys like this, I definitely feel they're going to come prepared for it, and I'm sure that they haven't slacked in their training. So I honestly think that these 2 guys can do the full 5 rounds with no issues.
We saw Muhyiddin lock up that body triangle. Now he's working to try and... Oh, there you go, switch to the neck.
He looks on.
This is tight, guys. This is tight.
This could be it.
He's got it. Is he?
He's tapped.
Oh, Muhyiddin Abubakar takes the flyweight title, reverses. We asked about his grappling. Reverses the takedown, and from there, step by step, took the back, then finished the choke. Beautiful stuff.
Very slick jiu-jitsu there.
Nathaniel, we said both men capable of going the 5, but this young man really cementing his reputation. First round finish, and as you and Brian were saying, so slickly done.
Definitely, amazing performance, and, you know, I think we can see him in the pro ranks on his next fight.
We're going to see the action again. Just talk us through this all the way through, Nathaniel. Let's sit back and watch.
Well, here obviously he's been doing his wrestling because he was able to maintain that position and end up on top. You know, he seemed very comfortable when it hit the ground, and he waited patiently and bided his time. great respect for shown from these two fighters at the end here as well.
Once he gets it on here, neither of you are in any doubt, you and Brian. You felt that once he got this locked on, there was no way out.
That's it. As soon as you could see him under the chin here, you knew he had it. Slick jiu-jitsu like that, you know, this guy's going to go far.
Well, the training camp paid off. Going abroad for this young man paid off. Taking the risks paid off. Robert Masters didn't really do anything wrong. As Nathaniel said, it was that extra wrestling training worked dividends for him in that reversal.
Definitely. Sometimes it can be the flip of a coin in a fight. And, you know, obviously Muhyiddin ended up on top. And, you know, it was unfortunate for Robert. But, you know, he's a very talented guy. And I think he's going to come back just as strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the championship belt will be UFC veteran and owner of One Punch Management and One Punch Promotions, Mr. Brad One Punch Pickett. Now, our referee called the stoppage at about 2 minutes 37 seconds into the first round, declaring your winner by submission with a rear naked choke and your new ROC Amateur Flyweight Champion, Muhyiddin Abubakar.
Muhyiddin, how are you, my friends? Muhyiddin, you are now the Roc Flyweight Champion. You've taken out with a first round finish. Just describe to me how that feels right now.
Alhamdulillah, top 10, first round finish. Nobody wanted to fight. He took that fight, so respect to him. Thank you.
And you're wrestling. You went out to Berkut Fight Club to train some grappling with some absolute monsters. You put that on display tonight. Just describe how happy you are with that finish.
I'm so happy, man. I asked for a 5 round. As an amateur, I wanted to go 5 rounds. I want to go 5 rounds at some point. It's not happiness for some reason. So, alhamdulillah, thank you everyone. Everyone in church could help me. Barakallahu, Ibrahim, Murad Kalamo, Mauladi, Mohamed Yasaev, Ahmed Umar, Akraman, Barakallah, Allahu Akbar.
I think that's everyone. Listen, thank you. What a great performance. Give it up for your new flyweight champion, Muhyiddin Abubakar.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I didn't see you. What did you see? I came on time, man. Yeah. Yes, man. Yes, man. Where's my shit? Where's my? Where's my camera?
There you go. Right.
Yes, big man. Yes, big mama.
There you go.
Mo para, don't wear that, man. Fuck Mo para.
Go up. Look up here. How is this?
Yes, okay, man.
Yeah, these kids hit it.
Come see big man. Come see big man.
Go with him. Your legs is right, bro. Everyone, yeah, go join Abu Dhabi, yeah. Was it Abu Dhabi? Go subscribe.
Come on.
Yeah, we had a very nice time.